why signals matter. Turn signals are the most basic form of communication we have as drivers. They let everyone know what we plan to do before we do it. Sounds simple, right? Well, apparently not simple enough. According to a study by the Society of Automotive Engineers, and this number is going to blow your mind, drivers fail to use their signals about 48% of the time when changing lanes and 25% when turning. That's nearly half the time for lane changes. Now, you might think, okay, that's annoying, but how dangerous is it really? Well, that failure to signal contributes to an estimated 2 million crashes per year in the U.S. alone. 2 million. That's like the entire population of Houston getting into accidents because someone couldn't be bothered to flip a switch. Think about it this way. Skipping a signal is like skipping a handshake when you meet someone new. It creates confusion and puts people on edge. On the road, that confusion can be dangerous because other drivers are making split-second decisions based on what they think you're going to do. I remember my original driving instructor, my dad, telling me, your turn signal isn't for you, it's for everyone else. That stuck with me. When you signal, you're not just following a rule, you're participating in this massive, ongoing conversation that keeps all of us safer. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sometimes the absence of a signal tells you more than the presence of one would. Signaling isn't just about what you do, it's also about what you observe. And this is where things get fascinating for me, anyway, because vehicles have body language, just like people do. And as I've always said, how people drive is a reflection of their personality. Let me paint you a picture. You're cruising down the highway, and there's a car in the lane next to you. No signal on, but they're starting to drift toward the lane line. Maybe they're slowing down just a bit or speeding up to match your speed. Their wheels might be angled slightly toward your lane. What's happening here? They're about to merge, probably without signaling. Their car is literally leaning into the move before they make it. Here are some other tells to watch for. A car slowing near an exit without a signal, they're probably planning to dart over at the last second. I see this every day on my commute. Drivers who suddenly realize they need to get off and haven't positioned themselves properly. Brake taps at odd moments when there's no obvious reason to slow down. This one drives me nuts. That might signal indecision or possibly hidden obstacles ahead that you can't see yet. Maybe they spotted a police car or there's construction around the bend. It's possible there's absolutely nothing and they're just stepping on their brakes, but still got to be aware of it. Cars that are weaving slightly within their lane, they're either distracted, possibly on their phone, or they're looking for an opportunity to change lanes. When you start to watch for these clues, it's like developing a sixth sense. You can anticipate moves before they happen, giving yourself more time to react. And that extra time, even just a second or two, can be the difference between a close call and a smooth drive. People have different signaling personalities, almost like different love languages, but for the road. First, you have the over-signalers. These are the folks who flick on their blinker 20 seconds before they actually move. You'll see their signal going and you're thinking, okay, here they come, but then nothing. They just keep driving with that blinker going tick, tick, tick. Sometimes they forget to turn it off entirely and you'll see them drive for miles with their signal on, completely oblivious. While it can be confusing, at least they're trying to communicate. I actually prefer over-signalers to our next category, the last-second signalers. These drivers hit the blinker right as they cross the line, which doesn't really help anyone but themselves. It's like they're checking a box. Well, technically I signaled. Yeah, technically, but you signaled after you already started moving. That's not communication. That's just going through the motions. Next, there are the non-signalers. These are the drivers who believe they own the road and think everyone else should just figure it out. They change lanes like they're playing a video game, weaving in and out with no warning. These are the ones that make your heart skip a beat when they suddenly appear in your blind spot, or completely miss your blind spot and you just see them zooming in front of you, cutting you off. I've had that happen before. Finally, there's the fake-out crowd, drivers who turn on the blinker but keep going straight, or change their mind midway through a lane change. Gotta love those. These are the ones that really mess with your head because you're trying to give them space to merge, but then they don't actually merge. When you recognize the pattern, it becomes less personal and much more predictable. This brings us to one of my favorite defensive driving concepts, anticipation. When you anticipate, you buy yourself time. And time is the most valuable currency you have on the road. Next time you're driving, try playing a mental game with yourself. Look at the car ahead and ask, what's that car likely to do in the next 5 seconds? Are they slowing down? Are they drifting? Are they approaching a turn with no signal? Are they getting squeezed by traffic around them? I do this constantly now, and it's amazing how often you can predict what's going to happen. That car that's been riding someone's bumper, they're probably going to try to change lanes soon. The one that's been pacing you in your blind spot, they're either going to speed up or slow down. They're not going to stay there forever. The delivery truck that's been in the left lane for a while, they're probably going to move right when they get a chance because they know they don't belong in the passing lane. Combining this anticipation with generous following distance, remember that 3 to 5 second rule we've talked about many, many times, that can save you from sudden surprises and keep your ride smoother. It's like having a crystal ball, except the crystal ball is just paying attention to what's already happening around you. Using your signal is fundamentally an act of consideration for other drivers. It says, I'm thinking about how my actions affect you. Non-signalers might not be intentionally rude. They might just be so focused on their own driving that they forget other people are making decisions based on their actions. We've all seen drivers who seem to take a turn signal as a personal challenge. But here's the thing, signaling isn't asking permission, it's providing information. You're not just saying, may I please change lanes? You're saying, I'm about to change lanes, so adjust accordingly. What kind of signaler are you? Please let me know by sending an email to freewaytrafficexpert@gmail.com. Follow me on social media at Mastering the Commute on Facebook and YouTube, where I post daily shorts and weekly podcast video episodes. And don't forget to check out our community at drivesmarternow.com. Drive smart, signal always, and I'll see you next time on Mastering the Commute.